gotten to yet, so we're like, no, I don't know. And it's exciting because then the teachers who have gotten to see it are like, no, seriously, this is great. Because, you know, there were a lot of issues, especially with the reading street and the PSSAs and how they had to pull things out of order. And so it was just, you know, and this is just so much better, and it's so much better for kids. And I know there's not a lot of data back yet, but we can highlight how at Sellersville, where they went gung-ho, and they were like, we want to do everything now, and they took it all on, and, you know, the improvement that we're seeing at it was the third grade literacy numbers at Sellersville, where they were...
They hit 91% of the PSSA scores, which was the highest in
Wow.
Compared to close to a 20% improvement.
Yeah, it's just amazing, and it's, you know, and obviously with literacy, it's the biggest building block to every other content area, because if you are not, you know, if you're not good at reading and writing and communicating, you know, you need that to be successful in any area. So again, kudos, my favorite thing. Good job again. So thank you.
The other piece of this that I want to mention is just that social emotional learning is part of this program. So all the things we've been talking about with habits of mind, those are embedded naturally into this program. So the teachers do not have to go out of their way to see how am I going to make this program work with this thing. And it's all natural and it works, and the teachers are like, yeah, habits, sure, whatever, because they know that it's there and it's not a big deal. So it's really, everything's kind of really coming together really nicely.
Yeah.
All right. It's me again. So. How do I go to the next one?
Thank goodness, because how do you follow that?
I know.
STEM's exciting.
So yeah, STEM's a pretty big deal too.
Yeah,
Did you want to do a separate thing for words there?
Yeah, I have it.
Because they could use separate.
I will say that
Yes.
STEM was the highlight on the back to school nights. Everybody was so excited to
Steal my
STEM.
thunder.
But-
You're supposed to wait till I exit over.
Maybe some people are trying to figure out what it is.
And I know in my daughter's class that her teacher, because we're doing the seesaw thing, which is great because you get to see all the cool things that they're doing, and I can't believe how much they're keeping up with it and posting all kinds of really cool things all day. But her teacher was doing a video on what was your favorite thing for the first day of school, and my daughter was telling me when she got home from school, she's like, she had to tell people they couldn't say STEM anymore because people already said STEM.
Okay, so the last piece here is Words Their Way. So this is our third component of our balanced literacy block, our word study program. Again, we're taking this it's going to all 5 schools, but it's really 4 schools because we have about a staff within the 5 schools right now who are already doing this work. They were the original pilot teachers. So we're just going to supplement all the other places where it has not gone yet. So we'll be a full implementation as well in this area. Again, none of the information has changed other than the amounts of where we are going with this. I was able to actually work with the consultant this week to get us about $17,000 in free resources for the teachers. Stuff that we had previously paid for.
Free stuff!
So this is stuff that the current pilot teachers have that in order for us to get again would have been a very large number that probably would not have worked because we also have Making Meaning this year. So we're very excited that we'll be able to offer, again, the exact same thing the pilot teachers got this year, the other 5 or 4 schools will get. So it's all equal and everybody will have access to the same materials, which is very exciting. Again, the PD is kind of the same. We're looking to our teachers who have been doing this to be instrumental in being turnkey trainers and working with Nicole, our literacy coach, to round out the literacy block, the balanced literacy block with this component. Questions about that?
Yeah, it was covered in the program improvement. Thanks. Yeah,
This is your program improvement funds.
put to good use.
Anything else? Okay, awesome. I paved the way for STEM. Yes.
capacity. So it's nice to see and appreciative of all the, the resources that are provided from the district in regards to allowing for PD to occur, because that's the utmost greatest gift that's going to happen across the district for teachers, and they're going to build upon that and really share. So Sarah and I have had to meet already to try to turn some people down already.
Yep.
Saying, we're gonna get there. We're working at it, so it's a great thing. You know, hearing about it. So. Gina.
And then Dina's
Dina,
here to talk
what's-
about our.
Thank you. I want to point out that we are joined by two of our elementary STEM gifted teachers this evening, so I'll let them introduce themselves for a moment, if you don't
Hi
mind.
everyone, I'm Jane Crott and I'm working at Sellersville this year. Very excited about it.
And I am Peg Volek, moving from Grass, and I'm now at Bedminster. I'm a Bobcat now.
Not a lynx, right?
Not a lynx.
Jamie, Peg, I apologize for not preparing you in advance, because I don't like to put people on the spot. But can you just give us one moment of your first 5 days of school where elementary STEM and something neat has either happened with a kid or something that didn't go well that was awesome because they're learning from that? Is there a story that comes to your mind?
The thing that has happened to me at least once a day for the last 5 days, this is the 5-day cycle, is that someone has come up to me and either said, my son or daughter is so excited. I had somebody text me, a teacher in the district that's also a parent, and said, oh, so-and-so's coming to school tomorrow, I can't wait, it's his finally it's day 5.
Right.
The custodian has said, oh, the kids in the cafeteria, all they're doing is talking about STEM and what's the challenge. And then my best was Saturday morning when I woke up and opened up my email, there was a child who said, Mom, send this to Mrs. Volek, it's my STEM challenge at home. Which, on Saturday morning, that was pretty good. I took what we did in the classroom, and then it was the name tag challenge, and he put 23 pencils on top.
That's something.
Well, I know. Yes, you saw the activity today, and this child went home and just readapted and kind of stacked. So he was just
Jane, how
a
about you?
lot of great feedback, and they're so excited. So normally the gym is always like that one that they're bebopping down the hallway. I really think STEM is the special, that they were like. So it's a good feeling. Yeah, I feel like a rock star because they're like, oh, that's a STEM teacher.
You get special jackets like
I never swag, so you
guys have all sorts.
Jane, was there something you wanted to
Well,
add?
I just want to say, one of the things that I've noticed is the kids have been walking in and going, this is so awesome! And the excitement is just there. They're eager to hear what you have to say. Of course, many of them are like, I don't really know what it is yet, but it's going to be awesome, I can tell. And they're walking out after I've given them that introduction and helped them to understand it better, going, all right, this is going to be really cool. I'm going to like this. So they're excited to learn about it.
I know I'm going to steal a little of Dr. Dormer's thunder, but I do want to thank you. The amount of work that the 7 of them, really the 8 of them with Dr. Dormer, did this summer. Nine of them did. So, I'm not following along. That was very good at numbers. Next week's calendar week, so everybody knows that next week's calendar week. Just special clothes, just for you. But the amount of work that they did to create a curriculum from scratch that is going to teach our kids, but also engage our kids in just some really, really exciting and meaningful things is just awesome. Just to watch 5 days worth, but to think about the amount of work that they did. So just thank you for that, because that was not easy. And so I'm glad there have been some joys and some paybacks for this week. You definitely earned those, so thank you.
Yes, it was an interesting summer of a lot of challenges along the way, and I do commend the entire group for their dedication. They worked very, very hard, as you just mentioned, and spent a lot of time, together and on our own, and just pulling it all together. So I'm excited to be able to highlight this on behalf of the entire team, and again, to call attention to some of the really exciting things that we put together. Sure. Let's try this. There we go. So we're going to introduce the rest of the team. This was from STEM Camp, which was a 3-day intensive training that we all attended this summer. So from left to right, looking at the screen, that's Liz Portuguez, who's at Seiler, Erin Reichert, who's our K-8 technology integrator, or one of them. That's Chelsea Conley at Grass, that's me sitting on the ground. That's Mrs. Crott, right next to me. Susan Gable, who's over at Goof, there's Peg. Lindsay Wood, who's at Diver, and Ken Ehrman, who's at West Rock Hill. And I I think it's exciting now that they've seen all their classes for the first time. We've done one full cycle, okay, so everybody's had their first STEM experience. We worked together, starting in June, to develop a mission along with Dr. Lindsay Sides from the Bucks County IU. And this was middle and elementary STEM program, so we have a unified, mission statement. So our Penridge STEM program will promote innovation, problem solving, risk taking, resilience, and perseverance to prepare students for the future and to solve real world problems. And we decided as educators we will guide, support, and facilitate our students to feel empowered, to make productive mistakes, and to create confidently. We feel really strongly in our ability to, to fulfill those roles and, have our students take on those particular challenges. We are particularly proud of our Penridgeified, as Erin would say, design loop. So we took a lot of what was out there in terms of the design thinking process, the engineering design process, and just made it ours. And you'll notice that we have our 2 key words all the way through in our 6 primary steps, but the subheadings in the black are the habits of mind. So what sets us kind of apart from everybody else is during our ask and define, we're encouraging our students to ask, how do you know, and understand others. So if you were to look at the habits, you would look at the questioning and defining problems, habit of mind, and also the ones about listening and understanding with empathy. So we're tying those directly into our design loop steps, and our teachers have identified some awesome ways to naturally incorporate that into the various challenges and curriculum that we've put forward. So here's an overview of the
Can we
curriculum.
just
Go ahead.
give kudos to Amanda DeWitt who
Oh,
designed that?
absolutely.
Amanda
Yes.
DeWitt,
The graph
Right.
she designed
It's so
that
cute.
for us.
Yes.
She's talented.
Yes, she's very talented with the graphic design. It's awesome. So we came up with all the words, but Amanda brought it to life for us, which is really awesome. And this is up in every elementary every elementary classroom, all of our STEM classrooms, middle and high school included. So we've adopted this, district-wide. So here's an overview of the 4 primary units of study that we're going to explore, and just kind of piggybacking on what Sarah just shared with you in terms of our literacy initiatives, we thought it would behoove us to start with literacy-based engineering. So back when we were envisioning where to go with this, we decided we liked the idea of using a mentor text, an anchor text, to identify some STEM challenges or problems that were occurring within the story, and just naturally building from there and designing some challenges and some curriculum materials that would support that. Along with those mentor texts, we've adopted a lot of what else is out there in terms of fairy tale engineering, but our twist on it is that we're tying it to incorporating and instruction on the simple machines. So within the inclined plane, we're going to use the story of Humpty Dumpty, or Humpty Dumpty Rides Again. And wheel and axle, we've kind of made a little twist on the Jack and the Beanstalk story, and you can kind of see through there a lot of the materials that we're going to be able to do this year, and then a couple of the texts and things that we're going to plan to introduce next year. We need to start and get things up and running, and then we feel like we can naturally build from there. Our second unit of study is going to be heavily focused on coding and robotics. So we have the Osmo Explorer Kits, Code.org, Scratch Junior, and Scratch, Tinker, Swift, Ozbots, Ozoblockly, and Spheros. We're really excited about having our students explore a lot of what they've been exposed to at this point, but really diving in a lot more deeply, since we have the ability to do that with dedicated staff. In Unit 3, this is a little bit more in the works. At this point, we felt like we really needed to get the first semester going, and then kind of reassess, but we have some good ideas and a firm plan for where we're going with digital design. And you can see there our framework. So we're going to start with professional presentations, go into the textual-based presentations, image-based, and then dive into entrepreneurship. So what Mr. Toomey and Dr. Wayorka were talking about earlier with our career education workforce standards, we feel like we can hit on a little bit in these STEM courses as well, in terms of highlighting the entrepreneurship piece, and if tying back to some of our mentor texts. So if I build a house, well, what are some of the careers that would be involved with building a house? Now talk to us about them. Put together a story or a presentation about it. So we feel like it was a natural tie-in and a way for our students to engage in some of those presentation and interpersonal skills along the way. And we're gonna wrap things up with structural design, so pulling in some global and real world engineering with some, project-based learning. We have access to define STEM, and we're also looking to tie in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as well. So we have a pretty robust plan moving forward, but we feel very proud, I guess, of what we've established so far, and excited about, where we can take this. So the first 2 units are indeed written, they're ready to go, but it's fluid. So, as we begin to explore and dive in, we're gonna figure out what's working well, what isn't, what tweaks do we need to make, and again, take it forward and look at to bring it to the next level next summer, and again, develop those 3rd and 4th units long before they are due to take place, within the school year. In terms of how this is being evaluated and assessed, we've worked hard and had many conversations about how this would appear and be communicated back to families and parents. So we came up with our own little rubric. This is a rating of 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry I couldn't fit it on the slide, or it just didn't show up all that well. So 4 would be our thriving designer. And we were very careful in the wording that we chose to tie in, the 4 C's of collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. And a little bit about the habits of mind, so you can see how we're using critical thinking while effectively collaborating and taking responsible risks. That's one of our habits that you'll see. Solving real world problems and communicating about viable and creative solutions. So we really tried to hit on all those. That would be a student who is obviously excelling at all of those particular areas. And we had it graded, we're following the gradient that appears on Seesaw. Because on the report that will be issued to parents, all they'll see is the 4, 3, 2, 1 rating, along with thriving, growing, sprouting, or budding. The descriptions will be available through Seesaw for the full sentences and an accurate representation of what's what. Can't fit everything on that sheet.
Although we tried.
We tried. We did. Many times over. I remember the first time, how was this? And we said, that's not going to fit.
It went from this.
But again, we were very careful in choosing the language and what we felt like would represent our goals for the program. So at this point, what questions do you have about where we are with things? And anybody have teachers here? Do you feel that? Do you have questions?
I'm wondering how, oh, you have a question?
No, I'm still reading your designer levels. I'm just noticing the nuances in the language, and I think it's very well written. I think it's
Carefully
very,
selected.
yes, I like and it talks about trying quite a bit, so it encourages them to continue to try without making them feel like they haven't succeeded.
That is,
So-
obviously a theme for us all the way through with the design loop, is that
It's great.
it's okay to make those mistakes as long as we're willing to try again.
Right.
And by the way, I had Mrs. Rayburn proofread me here on the report.
I read them backwards. I was reading them going
Thank you
from
for
top
that.
to bottom. I'm like, oh, they start out a lot more fancy. I'm a quick study though, I'm figuring it out. I did. I could have used the numbers, you see. It's all right. From between this and the counseling program, I think having the STEM now from K through, basically K through 12 for them. I wonder if we can do, obviously not this year, but maybe in a few years, like research to see how kids' sense of self-worth and, how they've changed, because I think this is going to help them on a much deeper level than academics, because, kids, like Mr. Toomey was saying, everybody goes to college minded, and I think it took away some people's sense of value. So I would love if someone who wants to, research this and just track how the kids have changed over time, that would be an interesting thing to track. So.
Forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, but I love the fact that one of the key words in our mission statement is empowerment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right from in
And
here.
creating
Yes.
confidently, so we're talking about those skills that we want all of our students to leave here with. Just being able to go out in the world and feel good about who they are and what they're able to do. So,
Yes, thank you very much.
I was gonna say, I just think one of the things that's really neat in trying to enforce with the children is that they learn by doing. It's not just sitting there being passive learners and having information thrown at us. I'm like, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen, but this is part of what we're gonna do. We're gonna explore, we're gonna think, we're gonna find out, we're gonna ask questions, we're gonna discover answers together. And they're just like, they're so excited to do that and to learn that way and to know it's okay to make mistakes and that it's not always gonna work and that's all right, you know?
Right.
And I shared
One
it.
of our first things we said, you will be making mistakes in this class, and that's okay, because we cheer those mistakes, you know, we learn from those, so.
And the initial reaction is, ooh.
Yeah, like, whoa, the teacher is telling me I'm gonna make a mistake.
I'm wondering if it's possible to continue to empower our students with some STEM socks.
Couldn't want myself to read. I wasn't an Eagles fan, so.
I love your STEM socks. I'm gonna get pride
I think
tickets to get STEM socks. Certain,
It could be a prize. It could be a prize.
I just love this socks.
I'll share one more quick story.
Yeah,
So one of the
please.
things I've been talking about with the children, because, you know, with the first day, of course, you have to establish the standards of behavior and that sort of thing. And so I talked to them about being a good team player and being creative and persisting was one of the ones. And so I shared a story with them about Thomas Edison. And I go, how many of you know him? They're like, he invented the light bulb. I said, well, no, not really. You know, he didn't really invent it, he really improved it. And we talk about how, you know, he tried again and again and again to get on just that right combination. And I said, I don't really know the full story, but I heard somewhere that he did 999 combinations before he found the right one. And he could have looked at all those and he could have given up and he could have said, I'm a failure. But he said, no, I'm going to keep with it. And they're all just looking at me like, wow, you know, this is so cool. And that's where that empowerment's going to come from, you know.
Absolutely, not the socks.
No, it's not about that. Socks are great. I love some. I could use some.
I wonder if they'll also have better attention in other classrooms, if they get to use their brains in different ways, you know, then maybe they'll work some of that energy out.
And that's one of the areas that I neglected to highlight for the digital design unit in our planning. We put out a call to collaborate from all the other teachers in the grade levels and, you know, basically saying, we want your ideas of what you're doing with your students in your classrooms, and we're gonna have our students in STEM communicate about these ideas. So a lot of the foundation for those professional presentations will come from, you know, what they're already doing in the classes. We felt it was really important to make those connections. And you tell me, I've heard feedback already that a lot of the teachers are like, okay, I'm already thinking about things that you can do and come up with. So excited about that part and really creating kind of this unified, you know, experience.
I want to also thank the board, not only for their support of this program, but let's remember what it's done for the grade level teachers in terms of their, this being the 5th special, and them having added time to collaborate as grade level partners. As we've talked to the elementary principals and they've developed their schedules, there's more time now for the grade level teachers to plan and meet and collaborate while their students are doing awesome stuff in all of the specials, but especially STEM. So not only was it a wonderful program and a good thing for the students, but it's also bought the classroom teachers some time, which is really hard in education to find that.
Yeah.
And so it's really, and I don't want to miss the opportunity to thank you for supporting that as well, because that's going to be really key as we move forward. So thank you.
I just want to, from a parent perspective, my oldest is in 1st grade, and I teared up a little bit when you started to go through the units. Just because I know some teachers in the district are into this stuff, like Mrs. Volak, and would get grants and things and bring some of this into their classroom. But the fact now that every single kid across the district can get these opportunities is really special, and I feel very grateful to have my children be a part of this district, so thank you.
I was thinking if I had little kids like that, here to pen.
Spread the word.
Because remember, this started in middle school, right? So can you imagine what's going on in middle school and has gone on in middle school? Can you imagine now the students coming up there that the middle school teachers don't have to go back and say you can fail and all that kind of stuff? They're just gonna be ready.
They're gonna have to step up their game.
They're
They're gonna have to step up their game after they get through.
They're gonna be
It's probably
building
why, it's probably
real
why
actual
elementary numbers are
rockets
going higher
by
than their
12th grade.
She wants to come
You need a launch pad.
Ladies, thank you.
Yes.
Very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You ready for another one?
Science office.
Yeah, sorry, you're not done with me yet.
Socks in this presentation?
very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, this is fun. I want to ask Mrs. Kearney to join me up here.
You wanna tell us a cool week one story too?
I apologize, what did you say?
Do you wanna tell us a cool week one story too?
Oh, I have a lot of cool week ones.
Sorry, Abby.
We did a cool exploratory lab in chemistry that students have to figure out a reaction that's reversible, and they have any equipment that they want to use and to tell me what they want to do, and it's wonderful. It's just, there's no mistakes. They just experiment. They hypothesis experiment, new hypothesis experiment. They love it. It's great.
That's really cool.
I'm gonna be the one that asks, what's an example of a
Yeah.
reversible
Yeah, I was gonna ask
reaction?
that.
I
didn't
know. Oh, wait, I think, no, I don't know, go ahead.
I wish I had brought it. It's a reaction that if you shake chemicals together that are a sugar, a base, an indicator, and distilled water, they turn blue, but then if it sits for a time, the oxygen comes out and it allows the chemical, the methylene blue, to turn back to its original state, so it's clear again. But it keeps going, and if they heat it, it turns all kinds of different colors, but then it doesn't work anymore. But they learn through that.
Oh, that's neat.
And it's wonderful.
I didn't.
We're going to Peter's house later.
I was gonna say, Dr. Great example.
Nothing that explodes.
There's a charge.
Twice what you're making now.
Alright, so I've invited, obviously, Mrs. Allison Kearney with me this evening because we are the co-advisors for our new chief science officers. This was introduced or mentioned at the August board meeting, I believe, was the first time. And it was put out to Bucks County, and I'm assuming all the counties in Pennsylvania, in probably April or even May at that point, asking whether or not we had intent to participate, and we're like, absolutely, yes, we're gonna participate, and, so here we go. We'll give you a little bit of an overview of the information that was shared with us about what the chief science officers are and what they're intended to do, and then, we can talk about the 4 representatives that we have. So, they're elected by their peers to be liaisons for STEM in their schools and communities, so we want to be our voice, bring STEM opportunities to our peers, and bring change to the community. So we are proud to say that there's 3 of them here who are able to attend the 2-day training. Alyssa is not pictured, but we will introduce her. And we are proud members of the first Pennsylvania cohort of the Chief Science Officers Program, which is actually a global network. They have representation in Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Kenya, and other places around the world. They're looking to expand. Georgia began in Arizona. Is that correct? Began in Arizona. There's several states on board. I believe Michigan is on board already, or as well. And like I said, we're kind of part of a rapidly growing network. So our representatives are Sophia Goodson, who's an 11th grader, Alyssa Anderson, again not pictured, Austin Rosipal, who's a 10th grader, and Benjamin Steinman, a 10th grader, and then the 2 of us. I think it's worth noting that over the course of the 2-day training, Sophia was already elected to be on the CSO Leadership Council.
Wow.
So she is involved with not only all things Pennsylvania, but she's going to be a part of the global leadership team.
That is so amazing.
Meet her sometime, you'll understand why.
Can I just jump in? She works at the Perk with me, and she is adorable. And I just found out last night about all her roles. We both worked together last night, and she lit up talking about everything. And I teared up again. I guess I cry a lot. Because I was so proud of her, and I was so proud of her and her energy, and just how much she's already accomplished and how enthusiastic